Where's the soul button? Bob Marley's 7 words stopped Prince mid-demonstration in his $10 million Paisley Park studio. Prince had just played 3 minutes of complex funk track, 48 tracks of synthesizers, drum machines, digital effects, programmed sequences, lights flashing in sync with music, expecting Bob to be impressed by technological perfection. Instead, Bob sat quiet for 20 seconds, exhaled smoke, and delivered critique that would change Prince's entire approach to music. "I hear music, technical music, perfect music, but I don't hear you. I hear machines, too much noise between you and listener." Then came the challenge that would strip away everything Prince thought made him artist. Play one chord, no machines, no effects. Just make that one chord contain whole world. But Bob's question about soul button wasn't rejection of technology. It was diagnosis of creative illness. Prince didn't know he had, because in building most advanced recording studio in America and mastering every piece of expensive equipment, Prince had accidentally buried his humanity under layers of perfection, replacing feeling with precision and soul with production, which is why Bob's challenge to play single chord without any machines would force Prince to confront whether he was still musician or had become technician, and whether $10 million of equipment had made his music better or just made it louder, more complex, and further away from thing that actually mattered: honest human connection through sound. March 1983, Chanhassen, Minnesota. Paisley Park, Prince's newly constructed compound, his dream finally realized. Prince Rogers Nelson, 24 years old, fresh off the massive commercial success of 1999, riding the wave of mainstream breakthrough. He'd just built his dream, a state-of-the-art recording facility that rivaled any major label studio. Studio A was a technological marvel that represented everything he'd worked for. 48-track console, Lin LM1 drum machine, Prophet 5 synth, Oberheim OB-SA, DMX, Yamaha DX7, effects processors lining walls. Total investment $10 million, most advanced private studio in America. Technology equaled freedom. More tracks meant more creativity. Perfect timing meant perfect records. Prince called Jamaica. "Bob Marley, brother, come see future of music. I built something. Technology, precision, perfection." Bob Marley, 38, reggae legend, simple recording approach, live band, minimal overdubs, organic sound, music as conversation, not construction. Bob's response: "When? This week. I'll send plane." Prince had invited Bob Marley to witness technological triumph, expecting validation from elder statesmen of music that evolution meant progress and progress meant machines, not understanding that Bob was coming to teach lesson about difference between making records and making music, and that $10 million studio was about to be judged not by what it could do, but by what it prevented Prince from being. March 18, 1983, 2 p.m., Minnesota afternoon, cold but sunny. Bob arrived at Paisley Park in a car Prince had sent, stepped out wearing dreadlocks to his shoulders, locks thick and natural, Rasta colors visible, red, gold, green beanie, jacket with the colors, peaceful energy radiating from him, unhurried, moving like man who had all the time in the world. Prince met him, excited. "Bob, wait till you see what I built." Studio A. Equipment everywhere, lights blinking, LED displays, screens glowing, cables connecting everything. Prince began tour. Lin LM1 drum machine. Perfect timing, never misses beat, can program any rhythm. Bob nodded, silent. Prophet 5 synthesizer, can create any sound imaginable. 5-voice polyphony. Prince moved to next station. Oberheim OB-SA, 8 voices, layer sounds, create textures impossible with traditional instruments. Bob spoke first time. "Why would you want sounds that don't exist in nature? All sounds exist. Wind, water, breath, heartbeat, all sounds already there." Prince recovered. "This is expansion. Evolution, continued. 48-track console can layer 48 instruments, mix with precision. Bob stopped, looked at 48-channel strips. How many hands do you have? 2, but I build, layer by layer, track by track. How long? Some songs, 40 hours. Some more. Bob's expression shifted. 40 hours. For one song. Final stop? Computer sequencer. This is future. Computer can program entire song. No playing required. Bob stared. 20 seconds silence. Why would you want that? Prince defensive. It's tool. Freeze me. If I hear drum pattern but can't play it, computer can. No limitations. Bob turned. You said playing. Then programming. Those different. Playing is living. Programming is instructing. Result is same. Music, is it? Bob Marley had just planted seed of doubt in Prince's mind without being harsh or dismissive, and Prince's enthusiasm for showing every piece of expensive equipment was beginning to feel less like sharing breakthrough and more like defending choice he'd made to replace human spontaneity with technological control, which is exactly what Bob was quietly observing in every gesture Prince made toward machines instead of instruments. Prince felt need to prove his point, to demonstrate that Bob was wrong to question this. Bob, let me show you something. Let me play you what this technology can do. Technology enhances soul. It doesn't replace it, it amplifies what's already there. Bob walked to the couch against the back wall, sat down slowly, pulled out a joint from his jacket, lighter from his pocket. Hope you don't mind, brother. Helps me listen? No problem. Listen. Bob lit, settled. Eyes on Prince. Ready. Prince pressed play. Complex funk track erupted from monitors. Synthesizer bass, robotic, precise, gridlocked. Lin LM1 drums. Perfect timing. Mechanical. Prophet 5 synth layers. Pads, stabs, leads. Oberheim, strings, brass. DMX, electronic percussion. DX7, bells, metallic chimes. 8 synth layers. No traditional instruments. Everything programmed, sequenced, perfectly timed, digital effects cascaded, heavy reverb, delay echoes, chorus widening, phaser sweeping, studio lights synced to music, flashing downbeats, pulsing with bass, visual spectacle matching sonic complexity, loud, dense, every frequency filled, no space, no silence, wall of sound, perfectly constructed, 3 minutes. Track ended. Silence. Prince excited. What do you think? 32 tracks, 40 hours, every sound perfect, every note precise. This is what technology allows. This is evolution. Bob exhaled smoke slowly. 20 seconds passed. Can I be honest? Prince's enthusiasm faltered. Of course. I heard music. Technical music. Perfect music. But I didn't hear you. I didn't hear Prince. Prince's face shifted. That was me. I programmed every— Bob raised hand gently. You programmed. You instructed machines. But did you play? Did you feel? Did you let music breathe? Programming is playing. Different method. No. Playing is when hands touch instrument and soul flows through. Programming is when mind instructs machine. Not same. Bob leaned forward. This studio, beautiful, expensive, many buttons, many lights. He looked around. Where's soul button? Which machine makes soul? Prince opened mouth. Closed it. Soul comes from artist. Machines are just tools. Then why I hear tools more than artist? Too much noise between you and listener. In Jamaica, small room, 8-track, live band, 1 take, mistakes included. Because mistakes are human. Perfection is cold. Bob Marley had just articulated what Prince's expensive equipment couldn't measure or correct, that somewhere in pursuit of technological perfection, Prince had created music that impressed minds but never touched hearts, and his 40 hours of programming had produced 3 minutes of sound that demonstrated skill but hid soul. Which meant Bob's question about Soul Button wasn't about finding control on console, but about recognizing that Prince had eliminated the very thing he claimed to be enhancing. Prince felt defensive surge rising in his chest, pride wounded. Bob, I respect you deeply. You're a legend. But this is 1983. Music has evolved, had to evolve. Reggae is roots music, beautiful, foundational, but technology is the future. With this equipment, I can create sounds that Bob Marley has never heard, that don't exist in nature like you said. I can layer instruments that would be impossible to play together in real time. I can fix mistakes. I can make the perfect record. Bob listened without interrupting. My music touches hearts. 1999, Little Red Corvette. People feel that, Bob nodded. They feel you when you sing, when you play guitar. But when machines take over, they feel production, not soul. Production is artistry. Production is technique. Artistry is truth. Sometimes same, often different. Bob stood, walked to Prince. You asked me here. You want my opinion? Here it is. Play me one chord. Just one. No machines, no effects, no 48 tracks. Guitar, piano, whatever. But make that chord contain whole world. Make me feel everything in one chord. Love, pain, hope, struggle. Can you? Prince's ego flared. One chord? That's too simple. Music is complex. Bob interrupted, firmly. Music is simple. Humans make it complex. Reggae, 3 chords, 1 rhythm, moved millions. Why? Soul. Blues, 3 chords, 12 bars, changed world. Why? Feeling. Gospel, simple harmonies, simple melodies, touches God. Why? Honesty. Bob pointed to equipment. All this technology, beautiful, but can it make someone cry with 1 chord? You say you have soul. Prove it. Without machines. Just you. Prince stood silent. Bob's voice softened. I'm not saying you lost your soul. I'm saying you buried it under 48 tracks, under effects, under perfection. I want to hear it again. Unburied, raw, 1 chord, no machines, just Prince. Can you do that? Prince Rogers Nelson, 24 years old, master of multiple instruments, builder of $10 million studio, technological innovator, had just been challenged to do simplest thing possible, play 1 chord honestly. And in that moment, he realized Bob wasn't questioning Prince's technical ability, but whether Prince could still access the vulnerability that had made him musician in first place, before he learned to hide behind equipment and call that hiding evolution. Prince stood in center, surrounded by $10 million, armor he was being asked to remove. 2-minute silence. Bob patient. Prince made decision, walked to console, started shutting down. Prophet 5, power off, LED dark, Oberheim, down, hum faded, DMX, off, Yamaha, DX7, shut down, Lin, LM1, powered off, effects processors, reverb, off, delay, unplugged, chorus, disconnected, computer sequencer, shut down, lighting panel, dimmed, bright work lights reduced to warm glow, studio transformed, from technological marvel to simple room. Wood floors visible, windows letting natural light, space became human-sized again. Prince looked around. First time in 3 years, saw Studio A without equipment powered on. What do I play? Bob gestured to instruments. Electric guitar, piano, acoustic guitar in case, rarely used. Prince walked to acoustic case, opened it, 6-string Martin, barely touched, lifted out, felt weight of wood, real wood, not plastic, felt strings, steel, not programmed note, felt instrument breathing, sat on stool, no console between him and Bob, just 2 people, 1 guitar, air, 1 chord, entire world. Okay. Prince was experiencing vulnerability he hadn't felt since before he could afford to hide behind technology, and the act of shutting down every machine and picking up simplest instrument was revealing how much he'd used equipment not to enhance his artistry, but to protect himself from being truly seen, which is exactly what Bob's challenge required, being seen without any barrier between who Prince was and what sound he made. Have you ever realized things? Helping you express yourself were actually helping you hide? Prince built $10 million studio thinking technology would free creativity, but Bob showed him every button, every effect created distance between soul and listeners. Sometimes our most sophisticated tools, our most elaborate defenses. What have you been using to impress people when what they really want is connection with you? Share a moment when you stripped away performance and just showed up as yourself. Prince's fingers found E minor, simple chord, open strings, reggae rhythm, first strum, let it ring, didn't cut off, sound-filled room without amplification, wood and steel creating waves. Bob's eyes closed. Prince held rhythm, not perfect timing, human timing, breathing between strums, space, 10 seconds, same chord, listening, hearing overtones, feeling wood vibrate, 20 seconds, variations appearing, harder strum, softer strum, dynamics Prince never programmed. 30 seconds, started humming, no words, 5 notes, honest, from somewhere inside, not calculated. 1 minute, Bob swaying slightly. 2 minutes, humming more confident, simple but present, not thinking about next chord because there was no next chord. Just this moment. 3 minutes, left hand finding micro variations, slight bends, tiny vibrato, imperfections making chord alive. 4 minutes, hypnotic, not complex, sustained, like meditation, like breath, repetition without boredom. 5 minutes, voice joined guitar differently, not humming over, humming with, part of same instrument. 6 minutes, Prince felt presence, not thinking next section, not planning, just being here, playing this chord, feeling this moment. Final 30 seconds, sustained chord, let decay naturally, no fade out, no effect, strings vibrating less and less until silence, hands stayed on guitar, not wanting to break what just happened. Bob's eyes still closed, 10 seconds silence after fade. For 6 minutes Prince had made music without making decisions, about how music should sound, and in abandoning control, he'd found something more valuable than perfection. He'd found presence, and the feeling of that single E minor chord, containing everything Bob had challenged him to express, was proving that complexity had never been requirement for depth, only distraction from it. Bob opened eyes slowly, tears visible. 20 seconds silence. Now I hear you. That was Prince, not machines, not production. You played one chord for 6 minutes. That's everything. You made me feel loneliness, hope, searching, peace. All in E minor. That's soul. Technology can't do that. Only human can. You just proved. You're human, not just technician. Prince felt something crack inside. I played one chord for 6 minutes. That's everything. More honest than 40-hour production, more moving than 32 tracks, more real than perfect timing. Bob gestured to silent equipment. I'm not against technology. I'm against hiding behind it. Use it to amplify what you just played, not replace it, Prince. I've spent 3 years building this studio, millions, learning every machine, thinking. Technology equals evolution. But you're saying I lost something? Not lost. Buried. Your soul buried under 48 tracks. Under effects. Under perfection. But it's still there. E minor for 6 minutes. Pure Prince. Reggae taught me. Less is more. One guitar, one bass, one drum, one voice. But felt deeply. That's power. Bob stood, hand on Prince's shoulder. Your studio incredible. Use it, but don't let it use you. Don't let machines become barrier. Don't let perfection become prison. That chord you just played? That's free. That's liberated. That's artist without armor. Prince. The track I played you. 40 hours? Perfect. That was me trying to prove I was good enough. This chord. 6 minutes. Imperfect. That was me trusting I was enough. Bob smiled. Now you understand. Prince was experiencing what Buddhist teachers call beginner's mind, the wisdom that comes from releasing expertise and meeting moment fresh, and Bob's tears weren't crying for sadness, but recognition of truth finally being spoken after being buried for years under Prince's fear that simple wasn't sufficient, and the realization that 6 minutes of honest presence could accomplish what 40 hours of calculated perfection never could was shifting Prince's entire understanding of what it meant to be musician instead of technician. Bob pulled second acoustic guitar. Let's make something, together. Your way plus my way. Keep studio simple. 8 tracks maximum. Live playing, no programming. Mistakes allowed. They positioned microphones. Simple setup. 8 tracks total. Could have used 48. Chose not to. Bob started reggae rhythm. Prince joined, electric guitar clean tone. Bob sang improvised spiritual lyrics. Prince added backing vocals. 4 minutes in, Bob laughed mid-verse. Genuine. Kept playing. Prince reached for console. Bob, no, mistakes are life. That laugh, that's joy. You want to delete joy? But it's not perfect. Perfect is cold, life is warm, that laugh is life. Leave it. 8 minutes. 1 take. Finished naturally. Listened back. Imperfections audible, but breathing. Alive. Human. Prince. This is best thing I've recorded in months. Bob. Because you were present, not thinking about perfection. Just feeling. That's difference between making record and making music. 11:00 p.m., 9 hours later, studio floor. Bob. Brother Prince, you have gift. Technology gift. But don't forget first gift, soul. Use machines to amplify soul, not substitute it. Bob drew diagram. Artist, music, listener, 1 line. Then, artist, technology, production, machines, effects. Listener, many barriers. First, direct. Second, distance. You choose, Prince. I built this thinking I was expanding artistry, but really insulating myself. From vulnerability, from being heard without protection. Bob. That's why 1 chord scared you. No protection. Just you. That's terrifying. But that's real. Bob Marley had given Prince something more valuable than technical knowledge. He'd given him permission to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, to value presence over perfection. And the 8-minute jam they'd recorded, with laugh included and imperfections preserved, was more honest than anything Prince had created in 3 years of building technological fortress, proving that evolution in music isn't about eliminating human element, but amplifying it through honest expression that doesn't hide behind sophistication. Real artistry isn't about having most sophisticated tools, it's about courage to be present without protection. Bob asked, "Where's Soul Button?" Because no machine could create soul, only reveal or hide it. Share this with someone chasing perfection when what they really need is presence. Technology should amplify our humanity, not replace it. But Bob's lesson about soul versus technology wasn't only time. Prince learned simplicity could be more powerful than complexity. There was another night, another challenge, another moment when Prince chose between impressing people with what he could do and moving people with who he was, proving greatest artists aren't ones with most tools, but ones brave enough to strip away everything except truth, because sometimes that's all music needs. Honest sound from honest heart reaching other hearts, without barrier in between.